So this is my week one power rankings for the 2023-2024 NBA season. The season starts tonight, so I got to get this out before the first games. We'll be trying to do these every week starting on Tuesdays because the season starts on a Tuesday, so we're just going to keep with that consistent schedule. So let's get started. Number 30, you got the Charlotte Hornets. They don't have a lot of talent on this team outside of LaMelo Ball. We got Miles Bridges, who's injured for or suspended for the first 10 games of the season, so that doesn't help because he's probably the second best player when they're all healthy. But they don't got a lot of talent, so they come out number 30. Number 29, you got the Detroit Pistons. They also don't have a lot of talent. They got the three guards between Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and then Azar Thompson. So besides those three, that's basically all the talent that they do have, but that's still more than the Hornets. So they get to number 29. Number 28, we got the Washington Wizards. They got Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, so those are two potentially all-star type level players. But outside of that, they don't have a lot of talent either, so they get to sit here at number 28. Number 27, we have the Portland Trailblazers. They got a decent amount of talent. They got Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon. They had a good solid rotation. I'm not sure if Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams are going to be on the team by the end of the season, but I don't foresee this team being a really good team this season, but I do think they're going to be a very fun team this season with Scoot Henderson. So brings me up to number 26, which is San Antonio Spurs. Much like the Blazers, I don't foresee this being a very good team record-wise this season, but I do think it'll be a very fun team, obviously, with Victor Wembanyama. So, and that's enough to, him alone is enough to get some people to watch these games. So, Number 25, got the Houston Rockets. They got some talent, right? They got Jalen Green. They got, Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun, of course, Amen Thompson and Fred VanVleet. So they definitely got some talent. I just don't think they're going to be very good this year, but it should definitely be a lot of fun. Next, we got the Magic at 24. They should be decent this year. They should be potentially pushing for a play-in spot. I'm not sure if they're going to get it, but I think they should be on the at least kind of close to there. Obviously they got Paolo and Franz Wagner. Those are really good players. Hopefully Jonathan Isaac can be healthy. Hasn't been healthy in like 3 years, so I'm not really expecting much. But he's a solid player if he's healthy. But 24 for the Magic. Number 23, got Chicago Bulls. Obviously they would be much higher if Lonzo Ball was not injured for the season, but he is, and I don't see this team being much better than they were last season. So I think number 23 is about, it's basically the exact same roster from last year, so don't expect, anything different really. Number 22, got the Toronto Raptors. They're obviously going to be a little worse than last year, not having Fred VanVleet and replacing him with Dennis Schroeder. So, not completely ideal there. Also, could be potentially trading some players. Could be trading maybe Siakam or like OG Anunoby sometime this season. But either way, they're still a competitive team. They got Siakam and Anunoby and Barnes, so still pretty solid. And we also love Grady Dick, of course. But Number 21, we got the Utah Jazz. They're a fun team. I think it's going to be a lot like last year. They were a fun team. They looked good at the beginning, and then they, fell off towards later into the season. I can see that happening again. They should be better than last year because, a lot of the young guys developing, and, they did trade for John Collins this season, so, that should make them a little bit better than last year, but probably not expecting a lot out of the Jazz this season. Number 20 is the Indiana Pacers. They could definitely be a really good team this year, or they could be a mid team this year. I have them as more of a mid team this year. Also, like the Buddy Hield stuff, he may or may not be traded. There's talks about him being traded for a while, and could still potentially happen. You never know. But I think that'll be a fun team. I like Benedict Mathurin last year. He should be more improved this season. So yeah, I like the Pacers, and I think Tyrese Halliburton could be a top 5 point guard for sure by the end of the season. If he's not already that. Number 19, I got the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they're definitely fun to watch. Obviously, you got Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I think they should be a little bit better than last year. I think the Trae and DeJounte Murray tandem should work better this year than last year, just with another year under their belt. Losing John Collins is kind of rough, but I do like young forwards, Jalen Johnson and Adrian Griffin or whatever, to be potentially uh, good, solid role players in this team this year. Number 18, got the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, Mikal Bridges could be an All-NBA player. He was playing like an All-NBA player last year towards the end of the season when he did get traded to Brooklyn. So I think that he should be really good. If A lot of it's going to be depending on whether or not Ben Simmons is good or not. If Ben Simmons is playing like 2019 Ben Simmons, this team could be definitely higher than number 18 on this list, but I don't really I expect a little bit of a jump from Ben Simmons to be better than last year, but that's really not saying much. I don't expect all-star type level performance from Ben Simmons. Number 17 is the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, they could be a really good team if Zion's healthy, but I don't foresee Zion being healthy for more than even 50 games. So, if they have Zion, they could be a top 10 team, but without Zion, they're just going to be the same team as last year, which is fun, but competitive, but ultimately just not good enough to be a not even a real playoff competitor. Number 16, I got the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, Luka and Kyrie are good. I do like this team better than last year. They got younger. They got Derek Lively starting at center, I believe, this season as a rookie. They got Olivier Max Prosper supposed to be a good backup for them. So, they got some rookie help this season. But yeah, I think they'll be around the middle of the pack team. Maybe get in there like the 8 or 9 seed in the playoffs. Number 15, they got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, I think the Cat and Gobert tandem should work better this year than last year, but hopefully Cat actually plays more than like 30 games this season. And Anthony Edwards, I foresee him. He's a favorite for one of the favorites at least for like most improved player. I think he'll be really good this season. He looked really good in FIBA basketball, so if he can transfer that over to the regular season this year, he could be a top 15 to 20 player at least. So that could definitely help out this Minnesota Timberwolves team. Number 14, got the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, they would be higher if Ja was not suspended for 25 games, but since he is, they're not going to be as high as they would be, obviously, because that's a big hit. And just recently you heard that Steven Adams is going to be injured for the season, so that's not good. But this still should be a really, really good team this year, I feel like. And number 13, got the Oklahoma City Thunder, taking a massive jump over last year. They didn't even make the play-in, I don't think, last year, but I think they should be, at the very least, in the play-in this year. I mean, everyone's improved. I mean, their whole team's young, so everyone should be improved this year over last year. I mean, even Shea, because he was really good last year, averaging over 30 points, but he also is pretty young, so he could still be improving. And of course, they get Chet back, so that should help them out a lot. So yeah, got 13 for them. Number 12, the New York Knicks. I mean, Knicks are going to be a solid team. I don't expect anything in the playoffs out of the Knicks, but they should be a solid regular season team. So that's what I got here. Number 11 for the Sacramento Kings. But they're really good last year, surprising a lot of people. And they brought back basically their entire roster. So the young guys are just another year better. So, I expect a little bit more of an improvement even upon last year for them this season. Number 10, I got the 76ers. I mean, they could be higher if I knew what James Harden was going to be doing this season. If James Harden's on this team all year long, then they're probably at least top 6 team in here. But since we don't know, he's currently away from the team, so we don't even know if he's going to play an opening night or really at all, because he could just hold out and then force a trade, basically. But It'll be interesting to see what happens through that scenario. But yeah, right now I got him at number 10. Could be higher, could be lower, depending on what happens with James Harden. Number 9, I got the Miami Heat. I mean, they're not going to be the ninth best team in the regular season, okay? We already know that, but they should be a lot. They should be really good in the playoffs, which is why I have them here at number 9. They lost some key players from last year, and Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, who did really good in the playoffs for them. But I think they'll still be pretty solid. They got like the second year, Nikola Jovic is going to be having a bigger role. Jaime Jaquez, rookie. Jamal Cain, like these guys that are just fringe NBA roster guys or players that the Miami Heat can turn into real potential playoff rotation pieces if they need to. Which, they have been doing that in the past. So, yeah, that's why I got them at number 9. Number 8, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they should be really good this year, at least in the regular season, because they were really good last year, and I think Evan Mobley could be potentially defensive player of the year candidate this year, just with his development, keep going and stuff. So I think that'll be really good. It would be helpful if point guard Ricky Rubio. He's currently away from the team, dealing with mental health and stuff. But if I knew he was going to be on this team all year long, they'd probably be a little higher because last year when Ricky Rubio played, they were a really good team, and Ricky Rubio was doing really good for them. But he's away for mental health reasons, so we'd have no timetable on that. Just hope he gets to feeling better. Number 7, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. Hopefully they're healthy. This is assuming they are healthy, which is kind of a big assumption because they haven't been healthy ever. But if they're healthy, they got Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Zubac, Terrence Mann, or whatever as their starting lineup. That's a really good lineup, and they got a lot of depth on this team. So if they're all healthy, this team, is obviously a really good team. Number 6, got the Golden State Warriors. Obviously they have 6 really good players. They got Curry, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney. That's their solid 6-man rotation there. After that, it's a little bit risky because you got younger guys like Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga who haven't had a lot of playing time, but I feel like have at least a decent amount of potential to be really solid pieces for this team. Number 5 is the Los Angeles Lakers. They're one of the deepest teams in the league. They got probably 12 guys that you wouldn't mind getting solid minutes come playoff time. So it's really good for them. It kind of helped out that they just got a cheap signing of Christian Wood late in the offseason because nobody else wanted him. So they got at least a free chance to take a chance on the backup big and Christian Wood because he didn't do all too great for Dallas last season. So, it could be a little bit hesitant to sign him, but I think it's a good gamble. Number 4, we got the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, their problem is depth, but they have probably the best top 3 in the NBA with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is going to be missing the opening night game, which is kind of sad. And, I didn't mention earlier, but Draymond Green is going to miss opening night game too, which, just makes that just makes that a bummer, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. But, Phoenix Suns are still a really good team. They just don't have a lot of depth, but, not a bad 7-8-man rotation. Going down to guys like Eric Gordon and stuff. Number 3, you got the Boston Celtics. Obviously, their top 6 is really good. Gets a little tricky. There's 6 guys with Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, missing a guy, Drew Holiday. Really good 6 players. But after that, it's a little bit rough. But that's definitely the best 6-man rotation in the league. Them and the Warriors are pretty close in there, but I would probably take Boston's 6-man rotation over the Warriors' 6-man rotation, which is, why I'm ranked ahead of them here. Number 2 is the Milwaukee Bucks. They obviously They probably have the best duo in the league, with Giannis and Dame. The only other ones that comes close, maybe LeBron and AD and Booker and Kevin Durant, but I would say Giannis and Dame are probably the best duo in the league. Especially with their fit because, we've never seen them play together, but I mean, just on paper, this should be the perfect match. And we heard Dame say it when he's getting so many open looks, even in practice. And he's like, well, I've never had this many open looks because usually there's guys come and help on me, but they're all focusing on Giannis now, so he gets a lot of open looks, which, if that happened in the regular season, this team's going to be deadly. And that leaves us number one. We got the defending champions, the Denver Nuggets. They're definitely, on paper, worse than last year after losing Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. But we're going to be expecting players like Zeke Naji and Christian Brown to really step up and try to fill into those roles. So hopefully they can do that. And they do have some other young guys that maybe could develop and be potential rotation pieces come playoff time. But yeah, and then that's all I got. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna try to keep doing these on Tuesdays, just to keep going with the current schedule. And yeah, make sure to tune in next week for updated video.